Hey now, cats, we're back again this week on the Balls From Ellwood Show, and with me I have a returning guest, the man, the myth, the motherfucking legend, Steve Jackson of the Pietasters. I can't even tell you how much I love this dude. I've been listening to these guys. I'm going to date myself because I might not look it, but I'm actually a really old fucking motherfucker. So I've been listening to Pietasters since I was in high school. So what does that tell you? Graffiti Showcase, Laga, all the great places in Pittsburgh. Monumental fucking shows that will be ingrained in my mind that I'll never forget thanks to this man and the boys. I love them so much. So I had a little plight this time. I've talked to Steve, I've talked to the guys quite a few times at this point. They've been kindly enough to come on the Balls From Ellwood Show.
Extended interviews.
Yes.
Extended.
They have, dude, there was one that was like an hour and 45 minutes. Go back and check those out. If there's anything you need to know, just for the burrito story alone, I would check it out, cats. It's on the channel. Check them out. But I had a little plight. I've talked to these cats so much. Steve was a little worried that they might not have anything new to talk about. So I decided I would come up with some interesting questions that hopefully nobody has ever asked this man. So here we go. 10 questions. Number 1. If you were sitting at home, Steve, naked mind you, in your chair, eating cookies, and a crumb fell on your balls, would you eat it or would you actually throw it away?
No, I'd eat it.
Why?
Well, I'm not going to waste any cookies, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's your balls too, so I mean...
I got clean balls.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
They're clean enough to eat off of.
Wow, they're like a dog's mouth. There you go. Already, Steve's balls cleaner than a dog's mouth. Let's move along, shall we? Question number 2. If you had the choice, Steve Jackson, between having a bionic penis or $1 million, what would you choose? And you can't do that shit where you're like, I'll take the $1 million because then I could buy a bionic penis and then maybe have some money left.
No, I'd take $1 million because I already have a bionic penis.
Proof for it doesn't exist. I'm just gonna have to take his word for that.
I don't want to electrocute you.
You know, so I'm
Sometimes
glad I didn't wear my
malfunctions.
lightning rod hat tonight.
Would have been arcing over to your head.
Well, this is going splendidly. Hey, 2 questions in. Have you ever heard these before?
No, these are new ones.
Oh, good. Good,
know,
good. I was
The
hoping.
$1 million one is a variation on the bionic penis. I get lots of questions about my bionic penis, but
I mean, I seen the site. You have a website. Please log on to www.stevesbionicpenis.com. Or is it .net? I'm not sure.
well, both of them link you to Meat Spin, so
There you have it,
you
guys.
can just go to Meat Spin and you'll see the bionic
Meat Spin,
penis.
you'll see it. You don't even need $1 million, so. Oh, Jesus. Aren't you glad you bugged me? You bugged you all this time?
than questions about the band.
Oh, yeah. See, I was kind of hoping you would go that way.
What's your favorite city to play?
Right.
What's your favorite
Pittsburgh,
song?
of course.
What's your favorite song to play? What's your least favorite song to play? All right, here we go. I got kind of a normal one, so you're going to probably be disappointed, but I don't think anybody's ever asked you. What was your favorite TV show when you were a kid, and what was your favorite TV show now that you're an adult?
Hogan's Heroes.
That was a kid?
Both
You were
of
a
them.
kid? Oh, really?
Because Hogan's Heroes is always on reruns, and every time I come home from work, recently my wife's had Hogan's Heroes on, and I remember how much I loved Hogan's Heroes when I was a kid.
Oh, that was great.
And one time we were on tour in Germany, and I turned on the TV, and they were playing Hogan's Heroes, and it was dubbed into German, and it was the most bizarre thing. It was like you were in this wormhole vortex, and I had a high 8 camera, and I was videotaping. I'm like, you're never gonna believe this. The Germans are watching Hogan's Heroes.
I'm pretty sure that might have opened the 7th gate to hell somehow.
I think so. I mean, yeah. So, Hogan's Heroes, I'd have to go with.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, do you look at it differently now that you're an adult, or is it just still as entertaining?
No, it's still just as entertaining. I mean, I guess maybe you get a little bit more of the nuance, and then when you know that Bob Crane was this crazy sex
like
fiend
a
got
CIA
beaten to
agent
death
and all
with
that shit.
yeah,
I see the
so,
movie. I'll tell you a funny story. When I was a kid, I used to watch Hogan's Heroes, and I'd always, you know how they would get out their little shot glass and they pour the drink and all that? I would get my soda bottle and I'd get like a little cup and I'd pretend I was in. And that was the first time I think my mom said, oh boy, I'm in trouble. He's a fucking idiot.
He's practicing.
I was practicing to be an idiot later in life, so. Question number 3, I think. I went to public school. You'll have to forgive me. So,
Right there with you.
4.
Four.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. Question
The
number.
The producer's over here.
Question number 4.
He was just going to repeat the TV question again.
Oh, God damn it. See, I actually like tried to do a little production. Like I taped all these up so I don't have to get them, and I still look like a fucking moron. So,
No, it's better than I could do.
All right, here we go. Question number 4. Steve Jackson. Do you believe in the supernatural, and have you ever had an experience with a ghost?
Yeah, I do. I have.
Care to elaborate?
See, it's not any like good, the door slammed or like the lights turned off. But oh, you know what? I do have kind of a okay. So, Cape Charles is a town on the Delmarva Peninsula, as far south as you can get before you get to the Bay Bridge Tunnel that goes to Virginia Beach. I don't know if you're familiar with that area. And Cape Charles used to be the starting point or the terminus of a ferry line that would bring stuff by rail in from the port, and then would go across the Chesapeake Bay and then come back. And so it was, it had its heyday, and then it fell on hard times, and now it's being reborn as a tourist kind of destination. Like it's a non-crowded beach. It's not on the Atlantic, but it's got some good restaurants, and it's got these beautiful old Victorian houses, like the four-square kind with the pocket doors and the big arch, arches in between the rooms. And so during COVID, my family, we rented a house, Verbo or Airbnb or something, and they have golf carts. You can drive around the town. Everybody had bicycles, and it was spring break, and me and the kids and the wife, and we're at this house, and we go upstairs to go to bed the first night, and well, first of all, there was this one door that opened with steps that went up, and it was like, do not open this door. Just, one of those things. And of course my kids opened the door, and I was like, don't do that, and so that night we're getting ready to go to bed, and I like cold, like it was springtime, so it was cool. We had the air conditioning on, and we go in the room to go to bed, and the girls were in there in one room, and my wife and I go in, and she's already in bed reading, and I come up, I turned off the lights, taken the trash out. I get in the room, turn off the lights, lay down in bed, and all of a sudden this heating vent up at the top corner of the room starts blowing hot air. It's just like, rah, rah, rah. And I was like, what the fuck, man? I was like, Caroline, did you turn on the heat? No. And so I get up and I go over to the thermostat, and no, it's set, it's not on heat, and I go back and get in the bed. And I'm like, I'm gonna go fucking sleep on the couch. I'm not dealing with this. I got up, I left the room, I went downstairs, and they said as soon as I left, everything settled down, and we had 3 great nights at this house, and I never went upstairs again. And something didn't like me being in that room, and so that's it's not like a ghost, but something weird was fucking going on, and
that's way more of a frightening story than like what happens in Ghostbusters. I mean,
well, I mean, the gargoyles come to life, and the fucking marshmallow man,
or the ghost chick unbuckles his pants and blows him.
That's scary and awesome at the same time.
I know, isn't it? Dude, that's crazy. Wow, that's great. That's well above.
Weird. I
what
forgot
was
all about
looking
that.
for. Wow.
Yeah,
Man, that's crazy. Hold on here. You never had anybody ask you that? I was actually worried about that one. I thought
I've talked ghosts and shit on a friend of mine, Chad Dukes, who does a podcast, and he used to be radio guy in DC, and now he does Chad Dukes versus the World, and so he does a paranormal show from time to time where he talks about flying saucers and ghosts and stuff.
Kind of shit, so.
Chad's the ultimate broadcaster. He's fantastic. In fact, your boy Howard Stern talked about him a couple times, and
I thought that name does sound familiar.
Some rant that he had or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, he doesn't believe in all that shit, but he's surely wrong.
Yeah. So. I mean, I want to believe. I don't know. I'm game for it.
I've had some experience. I've wanted to talk with him because I've got some pretty crazy ones. I used to actually be very skeptical, and I had 2 major things in my life happen that convinced me otherwise. But I mean, that's We'll chat. Question number 6.
Yeah, 6. Are we done?
Did we skip one? Right, or 6?
Might be 5.
4 was the TV. No, 3. Yeah, 4. Yeah.
Question number 6. Steve Jackson. Has anybody ever tried to steal your identity by misleading people that they were in fact you?
Only with my consent. We were on. Excuse me.
See, that's one of them.
They're coming for me. They're coming for me.
I didn't know we like stumbled in the middle of Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. We were on tour in Europe in, I don't know when the year was, but we had these jumpsuits. Like I had a white jumpsuit, and the rhythm section had blue, and the horns had red, and we had our names. And because it's really hard to do laundry in Europe, and like as far as pressing a suit and getting dry cleaning, it's, unless you're Bruce Springsteen, that shit's not happening. And so
do you do the Vic Ruggiero where you put them in the shower and you turn on the hot water and steam them and just
you've
hopefully
smelled
the funk
Vic,
comes
right? Yeah, it's I love Vic, and we've toured with him in Europe, but it's a pain in the ass. So we're like, on this tour, we're just going to wear these jumpsuits, and it's going to be our shtick. And so our tour manager, merch guy, is this guy Bartley, and he's a little shorter than me, but he kind of resembles, he has that Fred Flintstone look that I have, like that kind of caveman sort of thing. And we all were growing beards on this tour because it was a long tour, and we're like, we're not going to shave, we're not doing dry cleaning. And so a couple weeks in, we all had similar beards and same hair. And after the show, he would put on my white jumpsuit and just go out and work the crowd. He was single. He would like try and pick up girls and all this stuff. And they're like, oh, what a great set you play, Mr. Steve. Yeah, I don't know why.
Did it work? Did he pull some trim?
I don't think he did. I don't think
really?
he did. But that would be my excuse, you know. No, it wasn't me. It was Bartley.
Huh.
He was the guy who was fucking people in Hamburg.
Yeah. You never know. There could be like 20 kids rolling around the countryside saying that you're illegitimate kids, and here it wasn't even you. So
yeah.
well,
So
that's okay then. Moving right on. Has anybody ever asked you that?
No.
Nice.
Are you talking just like run-of-the-mill identity theft, or?
No.
Or,
like
okay.
you know, like that. No, that story was perfect. That's kind of exactly
Okay.
what I was looking for.
Because I think I have.
Everybody's had their
cards
identity stolen at this
swiped
point
at a
with their
gas
credit
station,
card,
right?
so-
Yeah.
Jeez. Steve Jackson.
Yes, sir.
Question number 7. When you were a kid, how did you answer the question, what do I want to be when I grow up?
I don't know. I guess inside I always wanted to be in a band, you know, but that wasn't a reasonable thing as a kid. You know, you had to be an architect or a police officer or something, you know, something like that. Well, a cowboy is similar to being in a rock and roll band. You know, it's like, I'm not going to be a cowboy. I'm not going to be a rock star. I'm, you know, I got to have a job, right? So I was thought along practical terms, but I guess I always wanted to be a singer. You know.
Oh, that's awesome.
I guess, you know.
Then you
I wouldn't have told you that when I was a kid, you know.
Oh, but it seemed like it all worked out. So
I guess.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a podcaster, and that shit didn't even
See?
exist back then. Everyone they wanted to
What
commit
the
me.
fuck is a
What the
podcast,
fuck
dude?
is that, asshole?
I think this kid's off. He's doing shots of seltzer water and talking about a pod something.
Alrighty, we only got a couple left. Oh shit! I think that would. No, I think we got off kilter here. Question the next one.
Yeah, whatever.
8?
Oh, actually,
8?
yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
Steve Jackson, what's the strangest thing you've ever witnessed somebody do in public? And don't say this interview, please.
Okay. I won't name the guy in the band because, you know, he's a friend of mine. They're an awesome band. We were on tour with the Boss Tones, so I'll give that little hint, and another band. And we were in Houston, Texas, and the nightclub opened up onto a parking lot. So like all the bands, you know, you load in and there's a loading dock and you're kind of hanging out by the buses and the vans. And then across this big parking lot, there's this fancy restaurant with patio seating and the twinkle lights and hanging plants and mood music. And so this guy who's in this other band is a vegan, and he's like, have you ever seen anybody throw a rope? I'm like, throw a rope? What the fuck is that? And we're all drinking beer, and you know, there's this group of people, and he's up on the loading dock there, and I don't know if he saw the people over there or not, and he's like, all right, and he turns around and whips his pants down and pulls his ass cheeks apart and shoots a fucking rope of shit that was like 6 feet long, and it shot out like one of those peanut things you open in and the trick, you know, and it was just like blast, and he's like, there you go, and goes back inside. Didn't need a wipe or anything. I mean, it was just, and all these people were horrified that are paying $200 to have dinner, and they're just like, oh my God! It was so funny. But that is the weirdest thing I've seen.
What's your diet got to be like to projectile?
Lots of
shit?
fiber.
Like, wow.
Lots of fiber. I mean, he was a vegan. It was all just, you know.
It all makes sense now.
Jeremy, remember when we saw that guy who will go nameless throw a rope in Houston off of the loading dock? He's like, and it shot out like 6 feet.
Oh, God.
Jeremy was there.
He ate right.
Yeah.
He ate right.
Fiber, baby.
He ate right.
Kale, broccoli.
Down to the wire, only a couple more. Steve Jackson, what do you think happens after death?
After death?
Yeah, we're gonna get a little serious.
Well, you know, I mean, being raised in the in the Christian family of faith, I like to think there's something out there. And then Jeremy is a famous physicist, and he's explained to me about how energy cannot be created or destroyed. So somehow I reconcile my faith with the physics and the reality of matter, and that whether or not you're sitting on a cloud getting your dick sucked, or you just somehow like meld back in with everything, I feel like something else is going on. You know?
Well, you heard that here first. The Pietasters can never die. They're always going to exist.
No. And when I do die, I'm going to get wrapped in that mushroom suit.
Maybe in a medical,
be
physical
thrown
form,
underground.
but oh yeah, that'd
Yeah,
be great.
I love that shit.
Alrighty. Anybody ever ask
Blowjobs
you
on the moon.
Oh, God.
Those little angels. He's like a mean dick.
Next to the last one.
Okay.
Where is the worst smelling place you've ever played?
The Hive's dressing room.
Oh, wow.
Or Guar's dressing room.
Oh, I believe that.
The worst
What did it smell like?
smelling.
Did it smell like balls and like a dumpster? Or?
Yeah, I think the Falcon Club in Hamtramck, Michigan, it's a Detroit kind of, it's like a neighborhood in Detroit. And this bar was called the Falcon Club, and we spent a lot of time there. We would drive around in circles and like do the first Tuesday in Hamtramck, and then we do the third Wednesday in Denver, and in between we just pick up bar shows. But Hamtramck, it was such a dirty place that the neighboring bars stole the trash bags out back.
Oh.
And I was like, who the fuck steals trash bags? And the owner of the bar goes, do you know how much a box of contractor bags costs? I'm like,
Yeah, like $10.
Not that much. He's like, shut up and help me chip this trash out of the ice. And we're like, chipping. I had to rebag ice garbage.
Oh, my
In
God.
Hamtramck.
Ugh.
Yeah.
right.
Well, and yeah. So that's probably the worst.
Last question. Do you think people are intrinsically good or evil, and why?
Yes. I think some are good and some are evil, but I feel like it tips towards good by just enough to keep us rolling in the right direction. So
There you have it. Profound words with the man, the myth, the motherfucking legend, Steve Jackson. Peace and love, guys. Peace and love. Thank you
Peace
so
and
much
love.
for being here.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Balls.
Thanks again.
appreciate it.
When
nice
you
talking
can,
to you.
Please check out the Pietasters. You'll be doing yourself a disservice if you don't.